Hey there! I am super excited to be bringing you one of my all-time favorite techniques ever, which is turning fabric into an applique. This is a really super simple, easy thing to do to really elevate your make and just make it that much more special, and I can't wait to do this with you. Alright, so what you're going to need is you're going to need the fabric that you're going to use for the applique. It can be a panel, which I'm using, or you can have yardage, whatever works best for you. You're going to want your make, and then some heat and bond light sewable iron-on adhesive. This stuff is amazing and I definitely recommend it. Scissors and an iron. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our iron-on adhesive and cut out a piece that is slightly bigger than our applique, our picture. If you don't have this heat and bond iron-on adhesive on hand, you totally can use a glue stick. The glue stick will gum up your needles though, so be really careful with that if you're doing that. Alright, so now that you have your iron-on adhesive, flip your fabric to the back, and you are going to now iron the sticky side down onto your fabric. Okay, now that that's ironed, we're going to let it cool for just a second, and then we're going to cut around our design. The adhesive kind of makes the fabric a little bit stiffer, so it makes it so much easier to cut around those little curves and get it just right. Try and leave about 1/8 of an inch around your design if you can, just so that you have room to stitch. 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch might be a little too big. It kind of depends, I guess, on how good you are at staying in a tight space. What I like to do is I actually like to kind of go around my applique piece a few times, so if I do kind of slip out of that seam allowance or the allowance around the applique piece, it's not such a big deal because I kind of make it look like I drew a circle on it or something. So, all right, now that your applique is all cut out, what you're going to do is take off the paper backing of your iron-on adhesive. And then what's going to be left is kind of the shiny sticky stuff. It's not going to be really sticky, but it's shiny, smooth. So figure out where you're going to place your your applique, and then iron that down. Okay. Now that it's all ironed down, it should stick really well. It might be a little loose in spots, you can re-iron it if you want, but it should be pretty stuck down well. Now we're just gonna go around the outside of the applique a couple of times. So with this sewing video, I sped it up twice because it was so slow. When I do applique pieces, I have my machine on the slowest possible setting it can go. I do just use a straight stitch. I don't worry about stretch stitch or anything like that, but I do have it super slow speed, which is really unusual for me. If you've sewn with me before, you know I'm a speed demon, but when you're doing applique, slow it way down. That it'll just help you get around those curves, get into those tight corners, and then make sure too when you're doing it that you keep your fabric straight. You don't want it to bunch up or get underneath your needle because then it's just gonna create a mess. So make sure while you're going, you kind of stop and check your fabric and make sure it's not getting wrinkled or bunched up or slipping underneath. But yeah, it's super easy. Try and stay as close to that the outside edge, the lining, or the outside edge that we left around the applique piece, just because it'll keep it looking a little bit nicer. But since we are going around twice, it's okay if you go over it a little bit. All right, last part, we're just going to go through and trim up any little bits that we missed when stitching or cutting, and then that's it. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I absolutely love this technique. Turning fabric into applique is so easy and just looks awesome every time, and I love it. Let me know in the comments if you end up using fabric to make an applique. Thanks for joining me. Bye.